So off the bat, we have mold toxins. We talked about that, and that's important. Now, again, in humans, you could get mold toxins from eating crappy grains and crappy foods. So eating foods that are going to have lower mycotoxin counts and to be important. So, more from vegetables, more from fruits, more from high quality, fresh, pasture fed animal products, good high quality fats. That's going to decrease a lot of your mold and mycotoxin and zearalenone load right there out of the gates. Okay. And then the next component is going to be making sure your house isn't moldy. So if you have a history of water damage or flooding, you want to make sure you go back and listen to our podcast on looking at and dealing with mold and mycotoxins in your home. But of course, any history of water damage or any leaks, you want to at least, or any visible mold, you want to at least get a really good high quality immunolytics plate test that looks at the mold as well as mold toxins. I've had some patients that have ordered the plates and just say, well, I'm going to let it culture and just look at it myself. It's like, well, you want to send it to the lab because you want to know what the mold species is and if there's any mycotoxins associated with that mold species, because you may look at it and see the culture, right? But you may not know if it's a friendly mold or not. So you want to know if is it a mold that's from the environment and the soil, or is it something that's actually from water damage type of mold species? That's important to know.
Yeah, on a retest, it's probably fine to do the self-test because you can look and just see that
Yes.
hopefully no
Compare.
colonies show up. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, on the initial, I tell people the same. Yeah, definitely. Because also too, we rarely find that the house correlates to the mycotoxin in someone's urine. That's pretty interesting. So that tells us most people are sick from a previous exposure. But in a few cases, we have found where the molds in someone's house and the mycotoxins those would produce, for example, aspergillus and penicillium producing things like ochratoxin, mycophenolic acid, we'll then look at the house and see, oh yeah, you've got a bunch of aspergillus growing that matches up to the urine. So it's cool to see, but it's not necessary to get someone better.
Yeah, I look at it just a tiny bit differently. Like if I see someone with a lot of mold, like weird kind of neurological symptoms, I always do the foundational things first because a lot of times that can move the needle without having to go into any crazy mold protocols off the bat. But then if I see their home is very high in mold as well, it's easy. Sometimes it's easier to decrease the exposure than to accelerate detoxification, especially if their gut's not working well. So then there may be some easy, simple strategies like let's just get a high quality air filter. Let's maybe get like a citrus-based anti-mold candle. If there's any active leaks, let's get someone in there that can work on the remediation process, at least patch the leak or decrease humidity in the area. We can work on a couple of those things and that can move the needle a lot.
Yep.